Say these words when life falls apart. Emotional Reset Audiobook. Written and published by Stoic Guardian. Chapter 1. The Soft Beginning. When everything feels heavy, you find yourself here. Heart heavy, mind tangled, breath shallow. Everything around you seems to be in motion, but you feel still, almost frozen, as if you're watching your life play out from a distance. The noise is loud, inside and out. The weight of what you've carried, what you've lost, and what you're still trying to hold together. It's all here, pressing down on your chest. Maybe you feel like you've failed somehow. Maybe you wonder how it all unraveled so quickly. Maybe you're just tired of pretending you're okay when your soul is whispering otherwise. You're not alone in that feeling. You're not broken for feeling it. This is the soft beginning, the moment when you allow yourself to be exactly where you are, without apology, without explanation. When life falls apart, the first step isn't to fix it, it's to feel it. So take a breath. Let the weight be acknowledged, let the ache be real. This is the opening, where your healing begins. Life has a way of shaking you awake in the most unexpected ways. The plans you held so tightly start to slip through your fingers, and you're left with the question, what now? In these moments, it's easy to think you need to do something, anything, to make it better. But maybe the most courageous thing you can do is nothing at all. Just for a moment. Just long enough to remember that you're still here, that your breath still moves, that your heart still beats, even if it feels cracked, because survival isn't always about action, it's about presence, about choosing to stay with yourself, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. That choice, to stay, is a quiet, gentle strength. It's the soft foundation on which everything else will be rebuilt. As you stand here, surrounded by pieces that no longer fit together, I want you to know, you don't have to rush to make sense of it all. You don't have to tie it up in a neat story or find meaning in every loss. Right now, it's enough to say, I'm here, I'm breathing, I'm feeling, and feeling. And that's enough. Let that be your mantra when your mind tries to drag you into the past or project you into the future. I'm here, I'm breathing, I'm feeling. These simple words, repeated softly, become an anchor in the storm. Let them settle in your chest, in your bones. Let them remind you that your worth isn't tied to how put together you seem. Your worth is in your willingness to meet yourself exactly as you are, without judgment. That's where healing begins, not in the fixing, but in the feeling. You are not defined by what fell apart. You are defined by how you choose to be present with what remains. In this soft beginning, you're invited to stop performing strength and start embodying gentleness, to stop running from the hurt and start listening to it. Because even in the rubble, even in the wreckage, there's a quiet knowing within you. A voice that says, I am still here. I am still whole. Even if I feel shattered, let that voice be the one you lean into. Let it be the balm that soothes the ache. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be okay today. You just have to keep breathing, keep feeling, keep coming back to this soft beginning, where everything heavy can be held with compassion, and every broken piece can become part of something new. I honor this soft beginning. I release the need to fix. I choose to feel, to breathe, to be. I trust that even here, I am whole. Chapter 2. The Power of a Pause, Breathing Through the Storm. When everything around you feels like it's moving too fast, when the weight of the world makes it hard to breathe, remember the power of a pause. This isn't a pause that demands explanation or permission. It's a sacred pause, one that you grant yourself. It's the breath you take when your thoughts are tangled and your heart feels heavy. It's the moment when you choose to stop, even if just for a moment, and say, I am still here. The storm may rage outside, but in this pause, you reclaim your calm. This isn't avoidance, it's presence. Because when life is loud, your silence becomes a sanctuary. It's the first soft step toward peace, even when everything else is chaos. You may have been taught that stillness is weakness, that if you're not moving forward, you're falling behind. But the truth is, some of the most powerful healing happens in the quiet. When you pause, you let the noise settle like dust in a sunbeam. You let your breath find its own rhythm. You let your heart soften, even when it feels guarded. In that softening, you begin to hear the whispers of your own truth. Whispers that get drowned out when you're always in motion. This pause isn't forever. It's just enough. Enough to gather yourself. Enough to remember that you are more than the rushing tide of your worries. Enough to trust that you can hold stillness without falling apart. In the pause, you'll find that breath is more than survival. It's a quiet song of resilience. Each inhale is a reminder that you are worthy of space. Each exhale is a release of everything that doesn't belong to you anymore. You don't have to force the breath. Let it come naturally like waves on a shore. Soft, persistent, and patient. Feel how it moves through you, loosening the knots in your chest, softening the sharp edges of your thoughts. Let your breath be your guide when your mind wants to wander back to what you can't change. Let it be the steady pulse that keeps you anchored when everything else feels out of reach. In this pause, your breath is your homecoming. So today, when life feels too heavy, give yourself this gift, a pause, even if just for a few moments. Close your eyes. Feel the air move in and out. Let your shoulders drop. Let your mind rest. And in that rest, remember this. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to fix every broken thing. You only have to return, again and again, to the gentle rhythm of your breath. That pause, it's not wasted time. It's not weakness. It's the space where healing begins. It's the doorway back to yourself. And it's always, always yours to open. In the pause, I find my breath. In the breath, I find my peace. I trust the power of stillness to heal what rushing never could. Chapter 3. You are not the chaos around you. The world can feel like a storm sometimes, loud, unpredictable, swirling in every direction. It can make you believe that you are just as scattered, just as restless, just as broken as the noise around you. But you are not the chaos. You are the calm within it. You are the quiet breath that remains steady, even when the world tries to steal your focus. It's easy to forget this truth when everything outside of you feels out of control. But if you can remember, just for a moment, that you are not the noise, you'll find a quiet strength that no storm can take from you. This isn't just a comforting thought. It's a choice, a practice, a truth you return to again and again until it becomes your anchor. You may feel pulled in every direction by the demands of life, by expectations, by disappointments, by the weight of your own fears. You may feel like you're losing yourself in the rush to keep up, to prove your worth, to hold it all together. But here's the quiet invitation. Let it be. Let the world be loud, and let yourself be still. Let the waves crash, and let your breath be the calm shoreline that holds steady. You don't have to match the chaos to feel safe. You don't have to join the noise to feel seen. You only have to come back to yourself. Softly, gently, without apology. Because the world is not your home. Your breath is. Your heart is. And when you stand in that quiet truth, you remember that you are more than what happens around you. This doesn't mean you ignore the world's pain or pretend it doesn't affect you. It means you stop letting it define you. You stop letting every external wave decide your inner state. You stop letting other people's storms drown your own light. In the quiet of your breath, you find your own center. In the softness of your body, you find a home that no chaos can take from you. Let this be your practice. When the world roars, you don't roar back. You breathe deeper. When the noise demands you react, you pause. When fear tries to own your mind, you come back to your heart. Again and again, until it becomes second nature, until it becomes your silent strength. So today, let this truth land like a soft exhale. I am not the chaos around me. I am the calm within. I don't need to be loud to be powerful. I don't need to match the world's rush to stay worthy. I lead my life from a place of quiet strength, rooted in breath, guided by heart, and held by an inner peace that no storm can shatter. I am the calm within the storm. I am the quiet in the noise. No matter what happens around me, I choose to be at peace within. Chapter 4. The Sacred Mirror. Seeing yourself with compassion. There's a quiet kind of bravery in looking at yourself with soft eyes, not with criticism, not with comparison, but with compassion. Because in the chaos of life, it's easy to forget how gentle you deserve to be with yourself. You've carried so much. You've fought battles no one else saw. You've shown up even when your heart was tired. You've given even when you felt empty. And yet, how often do you stop and say, I see, I honor you? The world taught you to look in the mirror for flaws. But what if the mirror was sacred? What if every reflection was an invitation, not to judge, but to embrace? When life feels like it's falling apart, you might see only the cracks. You might see the mistakes, the regrets, the what-ifs. But I want you to look deeper. I want you to see the softness that remains, even in the rubble. The quiet strength that has always been there, holding you up when everything else fell away. The gentle hope that flickers, even when the night feels endless. This is what the sacred mirror shows you. Not your perfection, but your resilience. Not your performance, but your presence. You don't have to be anything more than you are right now. That's enough. That's always been enough. Seeing yourself with compassion doesn't mean you ignore your pain. It means you stop punishing yourself for feeling it. It means you offer your own heart the kindness you give so freely to others. It means you stop trying to fix what was never broken and start tending to the parts of you that have been neglected. In the quiet of your reflection, you can say, I forgive you for the times you didn't know better. I honor you for the ways you kept going anyway. I love you for simply existing. These words are medicine for a weary soul. Let them be your balm today. So today, look in the mirror. Not for flaws, but for evidence of your strength. See the softness that survived. See the wisdom that grew in the quiet. See the light that never left, no matter how dark the nights became. Let the sacred mirror be a reminder. You are not your mistakes. You are not your pain. You are the quiet, resilient soul who chose to keep breathing. That choice, that's enough. That's everything. I see myself with compassion. I honor my journey. I offer myself the kindness I deserve. I am worthy of love. Exactly as I am. Chapter 5. The Gentle Release. Letting go of what hurts. There comes a moment when holding on becomes heavier than letting go. You've felt it. A weight in your chest. A quiet ache in your soul that says, this isn't yours to carry anymore. Letting go isn't about forgetting. It isn't about pretending it didn't matter. It's about honoring what was and choosing peace over pain. It's about breathing deeply enough to trust that you can live without what once felt essential, that you can be whole, even after something you thought you couldn't lose has fallen away. This isn't a forced release, it's a gentle one. a surrender to the truth that healing doesn't always look like getting back what was lost. It often looks like finding what was always inside you. You may be tempted to grip harder when things fall apart, to cling to old memories, old roles, old stories that no longer fit. It feels safer to hold on, until it doesn't. Because the more you hold, the more it drains you. The more you replay the pain, the more it weaves itself into your breath. But you're allowed to let it go. You're allowed to say, this chapter is complete. You're allowed to trust that what's meant for you will never leave you, and what leaves was never meant to stay. Letting go is not abandonment. It's an act of self-love. A quiet, unwavering decision to choose your peace over your past. That choice, it's a sacred threshold. And today, when you choose to release, you don't erase the past. You honor it. You thank it for the lessons it brought, for the ways it shaped you. You bow to the memories and say, I'm grateful and I'm ready to move forward. This is how you free yourself. Not by erasing what happened, but by rewriting what it means to you. You're no longer a prisoner of what hurt you. You're the keeper of your own calm. You're no longer defined by what broke. You're defined by how you rise in its quiet aftermath, and in that rising, you're lighter, you're freer, you're home. So today, let yourself breathe into the gentle release. Let the tears come if they need to. Let the memories pass through like clouds across a soft sky. You don't need to hold them anymore. You don't need to prove your worth by carrying what no longer belongs. Let go, with softness, with compassion, with trust, and know that in every release, you're making space for something truer, something deeper, something you were always meant to carry, your own peace. I let go of what no longer serves me. I release the weight of what hurts. I honor the past, but I choose my peace. I am free to begin again. Chapter 6. Reclaiming your center. The quiet power of presence. In a world that pulls you in 1,000 directions, coming home to yourself becomes an act of quiet rebellion. Reclaiming your center is not about shutting out the world, it's about coming back to the still place inside you that has never been shaken, no matter how loud life gets. That center, it's your anchor. It's the calm beneath every storm, the soft breath beneath every wave. It's the reminder that no matter what happens around you, you always have a place to return to, a place that doesn't judge, a place that doesn't rush, a place that says you are enough, even here. Reclaiming your center begins with presence. It begins with slowing down enough to feel the ground beneath your feet, the rise and fall of your breath, the soft rhythm of your heart. It's easy to forget how powerful this simple act is, how quickly you can lose yourself in the noise of expectations, comparisons, and to-do lists. But in the quiet of this moment you remember, you are not your productivity. You are not your performance. You are not the roles you play for others. You are the stillness beneath it all. The steady presence that remains when the day is done and the noise fades away. When you move from this place, everything changes. Your choices become clearer, your energy becomes lighter. You stop reacting to every demand. You start responding to what truly matters. You don't chase what doesn't align. You don't beg for what doesn't honor your peace. You stand rooted in your own calm, and from that calm, you lead your life, not from force but from flow. This isn't passivity, this is presence, and presence is power. So today, let yourself return to your center. Close your eyes, place your hand on your heart, breathe deeply. Feel the quiet strength that lives inside you, the knowing that says, I am here, I am enough, I am whole. No matter what the world demands of you, this is where you begin. This is where you return, again and again, because you are not lost. You are simply remembering how to come home to yourself. I reclaim my center. I lead from presence. I am not defined by noise. I am guided by the quiet strength within me. Chapter 7. The Healing Echo. Words that rebuild your spirit. Words hold power, more than we often realize. In the noise of life, it's easy to forget how healing a single phrase can be. How a few soft words can settle your heart when everything else feels scattered. When life falls apart, you don't need more noise. You need gentle echoes. Words that feel like a warm blanket on a cold night, like a lighthouse in the fog. Words that remind you, you are not what broke you, you are not what left, you are not what they couldn't see. You are a soul worthy of peace, a spirit worthy of rest. And these words? Let them become the quiet melody that rebuilds you from the inside out. Maybe you've been told that words are just air, fleeting, intangible. But the truth is, words shape how you see yourself. They can be the difference between holding on and giving up, between seeing your reflection as flawed or as a testament to all you've survived. The healing echo begins here. I am still here. I am enough. I am allowed to begin again. Let these words settle into your breath, like seeds planted in soft soil. Let them grow roots in the places where your doubt once lived. Let them bloom in the spaces that felt barren, because your spirit doesn't need loud declarations. It needs tender affirmations, repeated softly until they become your own truth. As you breathe these words in, notice how your body responds. Notice how your shoulders soften, how your jaw unclenches, how your breath finds a new rhythm. These are not empty mantras. They are anchors, reminders. They are the quiet medicine your soul has been waiting for. Because healing doesn't come from forcing yourself to forget. It comes from giving yourself new words to remember. Words that see you, words that honor you, words that remind you that even when life falls apart, your spirit is not broken. It is simply asking to be held with more care. So today, let this healing echo guide you. I am not my past. I am not my pain. I am more than what was lost. I am what remains. And what remains is still enough. Let these words fill the quiet spaces inside you. Let them be the gentle bridge between who you were and who you're becoming. Because even in your quietest moments, your spirit hears them and begins to rise. My words are my healing. My breath is my sanctuary. I speak kindness over my spirit and I rise, softly, fully, and in my own time. Chapter 8. Your heart is still home, returning to yourself. There's a quiet truth that stays with you, even when everything else seems to slip away. Your heart is still home. No matter how far you feel from yourself, no matter how many pieces of your life have come undone, there is always a way back. Back to the soft center of who you are. Back to the place within you that doesn't need to prove, to earn, or to perform. That place has never left you. It's just waiting for you to return. This return isn't loud. It isn't dramatic. It's a gentle turning inward, a tender reaching out to the parts of you that have felt forgotten. And in that reaching, you remember. You are still here. You are still whole. You are still home. When life breaks you open, it's easy to believe that you're lost. But what if you're not lost? What if you're simply being asked to remember the map that's always been in your own breath, your own heartbeat? Because no matter what falls away outside of you, there is a steady pulse within, a quiet, unwavering rhythm that says, you are enough. You have always been enough. When you stop running, stop chasing, stop performing, you come home to the stillness within you, and in that stillness, you find a softness that feels like a sigh of relief, like a balm for your tired soul. This is where healing begins, in the gentle return to yourself. Returning to yourself doesn't mean rejecting the world. It means holding your own hand through its noise. It means choosing your own breath over the crowd's expectations. It means trusting that you don't need to earn rest. You deserve it by simply existing. Your heart is still home because it is the only place that has held you through every season. The place that has felt your grief, your laughter, your fear, and your quiet hope. It has been with you in the dark nights and in the gentle mornings. It has carried you, always. And now, it's asking you to carry it back to the quiet, back to the breath, back to the soft power of simply being. So today, breathe this truth deeply. I am coming home to myself. I don't need to search for what has never been lost. I don't need to chase what already lives within me. My heart is my home. My breath is my anchor. My presence is my power. And in this return, this simple, sacred return, I am whole, I am enough, and I am free. I return to myself with softness. I am home in my own heart. I am enough, exactly as I am. My spirit is whole, and I honor it with every breath. Chapter 9. Forgiveness without permission. Healing the hidden parts. Forgiveness is often spoken about like it's a gift you give to others, like it's something you owe to those who have wronged you. But the quiet truth is this: forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It's a gentle closing of doors that no longer lead you anywhere you want to go. It's the soft release of stories that no longer serve the truth of who you are becoming. And the most powerful part: you don't need anyone's permission to forgive. You don't need their apology to free your own heart. Forgiveness is an internal healing, one that softens the edges of your pain and makes space for peace to bloom again. Maybe you've held onto the weight of what was done to you, thinking that if you let go it meant it didn't matter. But letting go doesn't erase the wound. It just means you're done carrying the blade. You're done replaying the hurt, done letting it shape the way you breathe. Forgiveness doesn't mean the pain was okay. It means you are choosing to no longer let it define you. And in that choice, you reclaim a part of yourself that has been held hostage by anger, by grief, by the echo of things that should have been different. You choose to be free, even if they never say sorry, even if they never change. Because this isn't about them. This is about you. Forgiveness without permission is one of the bravest things you can do. It's a decision to put down the burden of other people's choices, to trust that your heart deserves lightness more than it deserves answers, to believe that healing is your birthright, even when justice feels far away. You don't need them to see your worth to know it's there. You don't need them to acknowledge the pain to begin releasing it. You don't need them to understand your forgiveness. Because this is your sacred work, your quiet reclamation of peace, and it belongs to you alone. So today, let this truth rest softly in your heart. I forgive, not because they deserve it, but because I do. I choose to unclench my heart. I choose to breathe where I once held pain. I choose to trust that healing is possible, even if the past never changes. My forgiveness is not for them, it's for me. It's my final word on a chapter I no longer need to carry, and in that word, spoken softly, deeply, and only for myself, I find the freedom I've always deserved. I release what no longer serves me. I forgive, not for them, but for my own peace. I honor my journey and choose lightness over lingering pain. Chapter 10. The Path of Acceptance. Trusting what cannot be changed. Acceptance is a quiet path, a soft unfolding of your spirit around the truth you cannot change. It doesn't mean you approve of the pain. It doesn't mean you like what happened. It simply means you've stopped fighting with reality. You've stopped pouring your energy into the past, into the wish that it could have been different. Because the more you resist what already is, the more you lose yourself in the struggle. And when you choose acceptance, you choose peace. Not because it's easy, but because your soul deserves rest from the endless war against what cannot be undone. Maybe you've been taught that acceptance is giving up, that it means settling, but it isn't. Acceptance is an opening, a surrender that isn't defeat. It's a kind of faith. A faith that says, I trust that even this heartbreak, this disappointment, this unknown, can still be a part of my healing. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you choose to stop trying to control what isn't yours to control. You let the river flow the way it needs to, and you trust that you will find your own rhythm within it. Acceptance doesn't erase your pain. It just stops it from owning your future. On the path of acceptance, you find a quiet freedom. You find room to breathe where you once held your breath. You find a soft steadiness in the knowing that you don't have to fix everything to begin again. That you don't have to have all the answers to move forward. Acceptance doesn't mean you stop dreaming. It means you start dreaming from a place of wholeness, not lack. It means you open your hands to what is real and you trust that what's meant for you will still find its way. You let go of what you cannot change and hold close to what you can. Your breath, your choices, your quiet courage. So today, let this truth settle gently in your heart. I trust what I cannot change. I release what no longer needs to be carried. I honor the past, but I live in the present. I choose peace, not perfection. This isn't a one-time choice. It's a daily devotion. A gentle return again and again to the quiet power of acceptance. And in that return, you find your strength, not loud, not forced, but steady, soft, unshakable. I trust what I cannot change. I breathe through what is. I choose acceptance as my path and peace as my home. Chapter 11. Planting new seeds. Hope in uncertain ground. When life feels uncertain, it can feel like standing in a barren field, quiet, empty, and full of questions. But even in that quiet, there is an invitation to plant new seeds. Seeds of hope, seeds of possibility. Seeds that will one day become the roots of something beautiful, even if you can't see it now. Planting new seeds is an act of faith. It's a promise to yourself that no matter how uncertain the ground feels, there is still something in you that believes in growth. You may not know what will bloom or when, but you trust that life will find a way, even here. Hope is not a loud declaration, it's a quiet tending, a soft promise you make to yourself in the quiet moments. It's the gentle whisper that says, I will try again, I will love again, I will believe in myself, even when the world feels unsteady. Planting new seeds doesn't mean ignoring your pain. It means you're willing to hold both the ache of what's past and the quiet excitement of what's to come. It means you trust that your spirit is fertile ground for healing, no matter how many times it's been broken open. That trust, it's the first step of every new beginning. You don't have to know exactly what you're planting. You don't have to force the growth. You only have to be willing. Willing to let go of what no longer feeds your soul. Willing to water the small, tender dreams that still live inside you. Willing to trust that the softest beginnings can become the strongest roots. The act of planting is enough. The act of tending is enough, because hope doesn't live in certainty. It lives in the quiet courage to keep trying, to keep showing up, to keep believing in the possibility of light. So today, let this be your gentle reminder. I am planting new seeds in my soul. I am tending to hope, even in the dark. I trust that what I nurture will grow in its own time and its own way. You don't have to rush the harvest. You don't have to know what the garden will look like. You only have to believe that even in the most uncertain ground, there is always the possibility of bloom. I plant new seeds of hope in my spirit. I trust the quiet growth that happens in the dark. My future is rooted in faith, and I am ready to bloom. Chapter 12. Embodying Calm. How to carry peace within. Peace isn't something you find outside of you, it's something you build within. It's the quiet strength that whispers, "I can breathe here." It's the soft trust that says, "I am safe in my own presence." Embodying calm is not about shutting out the world. It's about choosing to stay anchored, even when the world swirls around you. It's about remembering that your breath is a sanctuary, your body a safe harbor, and your spirit a quiet leader that doesn't need to shout to be heard. This calm doesn't erase your feelings, it holds them. It doesn't erase your pain, it softens it. And in that softness, you begin to heal. To embody calm is to move slower when the world tells you to rush. It's to rest when your mind says you should keep going. It's to trust that you don't have to prove your worth by your busyness. You are worthy simply by being. This calm is a choice, a practice of returning to the breath again and again, of releasing the tightness in your shoulders, of feeling your heartbeat and letting it remind you, "I am alive, I am here, I am enough." When you embody calm, you don't just feel peace, you become it. You become the gentle pause in the noise, the soft glow in the dark, the steady breath that reminds you, you are not what happens to you, you are how you return to yourself. This doesn't mean you never feel fear or sadness, it means you stop letting them lead. You let them be guests, not rulers. You let them come and go without owning your heart. That is the quiet power of calm. It's the soft knowing that says, "I trust the ground beneath me even when it shakes." It's the gentle courage to keep moving even when you don't have all the answers. And in that movement, slow, soft, sacred, you reclaim yourself, moment by moment. So today, let this truth become your breath. I carry calm within me. I choose stillness over noise, presence over performance. My peace is not something I chase, it's something I become. And in that becoming, you become unshakable. Not because you force it, but because you choose it, over and over, until it becomes your natural state. I embody calm. I move slowly. I breathe deeply. My peace is my power, and I carry it within me. Always. Chapter 13. Silent Strength. You don't have to prove anything. Strength is often measured by noise, by how loud you can be, by how much you can show, by how well you can perform. But the deepest strength doesn't need an audience. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need to prove itself to anyone. Silent strength is the kind that lives quietly in your bones, steady, sure, and soft. It's the power of knowing who you are without needing to announce it. It's the calm assurance that says, "I don't need to prove my worth. I simply know it." And that knowing becomes the quiet foundation on which everything else is built. You may have spent years believing you needed to explain yourself to be understood, that you needed to defend your choices, your healing, your boundaries. But silent strength whispers, "I don't need to convince anyone of my path. I don't owe anyone an explanation for how I choose to live or who I choose to be." This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It's the kind of quiet power that stands tall, even in the face of misunderstanding, because you know that your truth doesn't need validation to be real. You know that your journey doesn't need witnesses to be worthy, and you know that your peace doesn't need to be defended, it just needs to be honored. Silent strength also means giving yourself permission to rest when the world tells you to keep going, to be soft when everything demands hardness, to let your gentleness be your power. Because strength isn't in how much you can carry, it's in knowing when to put it down. It's in the quiet moments when you choose to breathe deeply instead of rushing forward. When you choose to honor your own timing, your own healing, your own truth. And in that choice you find a strength that doesn't shout, It simply is. So today, let this truth become your quiet mantra. I don't have to prove anything. My strength is silent. My worth is not up for debate. I lead with presence, not performance. I rest in the knowing that who I am is enough. In that rest you find the calm that the world can't touch. In that silence you find the strength that can't be shaken. I move with silent strength. I don't perform my worth, I live it. I honor my truth without noise. My peace is my power, and it speaks without words. Chapter 14. Walking in Light. Stepping beyond what fell apart. There comes a time when you stop standing in the rubble of what fell apart and start walking in the light of what remains. This isn't a sudden leap, it's a gentle step, a soft shift from survival to renewal. It's the quiet decision to no longer define yourself by the pieces that didn't last. You honor them, yes, you bow to what once was, but then you choose to rise, to walk in the light that still lives inside you, even when the path ahead is still unfolding. Walking in light doesn't mean ignoring your scars. It means letting them be part of your story, not the end of it. It means trusting that the cracks in your heart are where the light can enter. That even in the quiet aftermath of loss, there is a glimmer of something more, a gentle promise that you are still here, still growing, still becoming. Light is not perfection, it's presence. It's the warmth that comes when you choose to see yourself with tenderness, when you stop measuring your worth by what you lost, and start honoring what you've found. Your resilience, your softness, your quiet courage. As you walk in this light, you'll notice how it changes everything. How your breath becomes easier, how your heart feels less heavy, how your mind no longer clings to what no longer fits. You begin to see the beauty in small moments. A sunrise, a quiet morning, a soft smile. You begin to trust that healing isn't a destination, it's a gentle unfolding, one breath at a time. And in that unfolding, you find your own rhythm, not rushed, not forced, just true. So today, let this be your quiet vow. I choose to walk in light. I choose to let go of what fell apart and open to what's waiting for me now. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy. You only have to keep moving, softly, gently, with trust in the light that lives within you. Because even in the darkest night, your spirit remembers how to shine. I walk in light. I release what fell apart. I trust the gentle unfolding of my healing, and I honor the quiet strength within me. Chapter 15. Wholeness Reclaimed. The final words of renewal. Wholeness isn't something you earn. It's something you remember. It's the quiet truth that was always waiting beneath the noise and the hurt and the pieces you thought you had to put back together. Wholeness isn't perfection, it's presence. It's the choice to see yourself, not as someone who's missing parts, but as someone who carries every experience, every breath, every soft ache, and still stands whole. You don't have to become someone else to find peace. You only have to remember who you've always been, beneath the weight of everything you thought you had to be. Wholeness is the gentle knowing that nothing you've lost could ever erase your worth, that every heartbreak has made room for a deeper love, that every closed door has revealed a quieter kind of freedom. You are not what broke you. You are not the story of what fell apart. You are the quiet light that kept burning, even in the darkest night. And in this final chapter, I want you to know, you don't need to prove your healing. You don't need to rush your becoming. You don't need to chase the next version of yourself. You only need to trust that right here, right now, you are whole. Softly, gently, exactly as you are. Wholeness reclaimed isn't loud. It's not a performance or a declaration. It's the soft breath you take in the morning. It's the stillness you find in your own presence. It's the way you open your heart to yourself, again and again, without judgment. You are not here to be perfect, you are here to be real, to be tender, to be whole in the quiet truth of your own soul. And that wholeness? It's your birthright. It's your final word in this story of healing. It's the soft echo that says, I am enough. I am complete. I am home. So today let this final truth become your anchor. I am whole not because nothing has broken me, but because I have chosen to stand in my own light, no matter how dark it has been. I reclaim every part of me, the strong, the soft, the silent, and I honor them all. My wholeness is not a destination, it is the quiet unfolding of my spirit, and it is always here, waiting for me to return. I am whole, I am enough, I am exactly who I need to be in this moment. I honor my journey, I trust my light, and I know that even here, even now, I am complete.